Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Hyrule Chronicles. This is episode 134. I'm ArticulateT, I'm the Game Master, and with me as always I
Yes.
have Nether playing Renji Vox.
My name is now Have. No.
I have
another new name.
Another name. Alvarez playing Hikan Sio.
Hello.
Rubber Pirate playing Zed and Shari.
Have?
I have Keistrith playing Max.
Hello. And we also have a cat.
We also have a cat.
There he is.
There we go.
In time.
Just waiting for things to start yelling.
Yeah.
Ever erstwhile fifth player. So, friends, what happened last time?
Last time, after doing some investigations in Avrdal village, our party headed north to a burrow. Barrow? Barrow.
Barrow.
Yes. Where they found some standing stones that they decided to repair to investigate. After seeing some pictographs of a person with extreme destructive power, they started to head inside, seeing that things were left there as if a shift was ending. As Renji approached the entrance, two Redeads stepped out and a bunch of wights, which led to our companions getting into a bit of a scrap, which was dealt with quite quickly due to use of AoEs, including one where Hikan used the Ether Medallion and accidentally hurt Renji because of a poor calculation. Which very much...
calculation.
An oopsie daisy.
A little fucky-wucky. But that made Max very upset.
Because it was literally the first thing you did with it after he told you could use it.
But they, after a brief explanation on why Max was upset, they decided to go in, where they found the resting place of the aforementioned person with extreme power, and Hikan ended up putting together a puzzle of broken urns to find that it was indeed the Bombos medallion that was the source of the great power. After explaining what that does, they left, but not before Renji and Max had a discussion about what had happened. They left westward, where they found camp, set up camp, watched the stars blink out, were reminded of the Plane of Lament due to that, and a lot of the other effects going on. On their watch, otherwise their watch was uneventful. They told Risha and Impa about it in the morning, and then continued on the way to Meidos. And as we reached the ramshackle fortifications, that is where we left off.
Indeed. So it is that we return to our companions, standing just on the top of a hill overlooking this somewhat desolate locale. Nearly all the trees within a few miles of Meidos have been cut down. The grass of these once verdant fields have since been trampled and trodden. this hastily constructed fortification, improvements upon what was once a simple stone and wooden wall, now having grand palisades made of mightier stone and protected by long jutting spiked logs. This fort is swarming with a number of individuals that could be recognized as rebel soldiers, members of various militia and guard who have since turned their back upon the Hyrule Kingdom and have decided to fight against it with everything they have, even though they are currently greatly outnumbered and fighting for a cause that no one on the planet seems to remember anymore. It is still a greatly overcast day. There's this pall that kind of sits over the environment. Even to look at this place, you feel that there's some level of unfortunate oppression here. It just feels pitiable to look upon, in truth. Even if it is quite impressive and has stood the test of time in the latter years of the Civil War. The question is, what do you intend to do? You know that somewhere inside this fortification is Cassandra Summerborn, the last remaining member of the Twilight Cartel, this deceitful, secretive organization that was responsible for the death of King Alexander and so many other turmoils that exist within this country. And also the Bombos medallion, used to whatever extent that you are still currently unsure of, though clearly for a destructive purpose. It is, after all, what it is designed to do.
Now I'm curious. What season are we currently in? Because
You know,
if Cassandra is summer born.
Please refer the next game for an in-game calendar.
yeah.
We have one of those.
Oh yeah.
Wonderful.
Neat.
If we're going to do that, I could have taken control weather and just made it into a blizzard, Arctic cold storm.
Cassandra winter perished.
It'd certainly be a way to stop them going anywhere or doing anything. It's like, yeah, just there's an intense storm
Honestly,
outside. Everyone
yeah.
I take it you didn't take control weather.
Well, I don't really bother taking any of these like super big AoE ones because they're so hard to apply anywhere. Like the tsunami, storm of vengeance. They sound cool, but you're basically saying yes, that entire village is going to suffer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am not
Those are meant to be
fond
used
of
like on a.
like communal punishment.
Yeah, those are more meant to be used on like a big battle zone.
Yeah.
Or in
It
the
is-
middle of a dragon lair.
It is weird how like few use cases there are for them, even though like they are very effective in what they do. Like Storm of Vengeance is like, what's that, a mile the range? That's huge. But
Range is sight. AoE is 360 feet radius.
Jesus.
It's one of the bigger ones.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It is a lot.
That's for when you're assaulting the evil castle.
Yeah.
Speaking
Yeah.
of 9th level spells, quick, Hikan, come here. I need to shoot the future into you.
Oh no. I have foresight. Okay.
Foresight again.
Woe, future be upon you, says Zayden. Oh dear. But yeah. So you're quite a distance away. No one that's at the fortification can see where you currently are. It is the middle of the day, so even though it is currently perma overcast and there is no immediate direct sunlight, it's still quite bright. So what is your plan? How do you plan to proceed?
Hikan looks up. I take it there are still no animals nearby.
I'd say with your passive perception, now that you're kind of like used to, like somewhat used to the strange goings on that exists within this area of Hyrule, yeah, there's no ambient sounds, there's no birds, there's no flies or anything like that.
Okay. So there, I do not feel comfortable turning into a bird and joining Max in the sky. So.
It's fine. I'll be fine.
Strange how there's no animals around, and yet
There's a
there's
cat.
cats.
We're being haunted by the cats of Castletown.
Oh, cat pose? Oh no.
Cats have souls too.
I know, but it's still sad. They must be really powerful if they've died 9 times already.
I know, right?
Alright.
Does a cat that dies 9 times become 1 po or 9 pos?
That's an excellent question.
I think there's 9, but they're all superimposed on top of each other.
Superimposed, you say?
Uh-huh. Superimposed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, do we just sneak in the more normal way then? Without turning into animals?
Well, I was doing a flyover with that major image means of hiding myself to
Max has
get a look at the inside.
Max has invented airplane camo.
Yes. I've invented stealth planes
Yes.
by becoming one.
Look, with your destructive magical prowess, you are in fact a stealth bomber.
Yes, I am a blackbird.
Yep.
Yeah. The question is,
I'm happy to drop a spell slot on invisibility.
I assume I've come back by now and told everyone what I've seen inside.
I didn't realize you went up anyway.
I was gonna do that.
Okay, give me a perception check.
I've cast a spell. Perception. 18.
Okay. Let's see how best to describe. So you take to the sky in order to do some aerial reconnaissance, utilizing your magic in order to hide your presence in the air. It is only fortunate that, given this state of warfare, aerial assault is usually not something that many people expect, even in a fantastical world such as this. So no one
Yeah,
really.
because most of the things they've been fighting are Hyrule Castle soldiers.
Yeah. So no one really thinks to look
Inquisition.
Yeah.
No one ever looks.
No one ever looks up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you take to the sky and fly over and peer inside, utilizing your perception to see what it is that you can see. It is a cacophony of activity on the inside, but not in the sense that people are rushing in order to prepare for an eventual attack. It doesn't seem like anybody's in a particular hurry. It's just that there's a lot of people. You can gather that most of the folks who were probably at Vestal at one point have been moved down here, which is why Vestal seems so barren by comparison.
And also the people living in the surrounding area.
Yeah.
On farms and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Most of the soldiers that you can see have occupied the outer wall. There are some that are milling about on the inside, but there's not as many as people who are out on the wall. I think the general assumption that you can make is that chances are they're expecting enemies from without, so there's not really much need in order to have as many people on the inside as needed. you can see that atop the wall is some very basic siege weaponry. Most of it's ballista, but you can definitely see one or two trebuchets and at least a couple of catapults that are just kind of dotted around the wall. It's a very impressive defense considering most things. But what catches your eye the most, I think, is that the center of town has been utterly, like, it's almost been quarried. There's been like an immense amount of digging to create this kind of pit in the center of town. A lot of which has been kind of draped over with long tarp that would, if it was windy, be flapping in the breeze as ramshackle tied down as it is. But it seems to be creating some kind of basic roof. You imagine that it's probably there in order to keep the rain out as best as possible, since they've just more or less just made a big bowl.
Yeah, you dig a big hole, the rain is
Yeah.
going to fill it up, and suddenly you have a big pond.
Yeah. But yeah, you can identify that much like Hyrule Castle Town, there are 4 entrances to the town: north, south, east, and west. There does appear to be some old farmland, or the remnants of old farmland, that dot around the outside of Meidos, but that's long since been abandoned. You do not catch sight of Cassandra, and you do not catch sight of anything that could be determined as a weapon, but you can probably assume that if it's going to be anywhere, it's probably going to be in that big hole that they've made.
Into the top.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll fly back and say most of the people are on the walls looking out. I think the big thing is in the middle of town and just a top of some kind. Can't see Cassandra. We've got a lot of defenses.
Yeah. Best way to go about it is to get in unseen, I suppose. I can make myself and up to 2 others invisible.
I couldn't see any way of doing that from above, so I'll have to get a closer look on the ground.
What if I fly up with you? You know,
We land inside.
stout size. We can see if we can spot or scout a weakness in the wall. I'm trying to figure out how to get all of us inside directly.
I was just gonna look at the other two. Say, can't you two also be really small?
I can be pretty small and fly, yeah.
Look at Zidon.
Wild shape.
Could wild shape into something really small, right?
I'd probably just cast polymorph on myself, I think, because the wild shapes are more valuable than a 4th level spell slot.
Don't
Either way, you can become very small.
Yes.
Because I could just carry you in my pocket as well as Renji, and I think then the only 2 would need to be invisible of myself and Hikan, unless Hikan wants to like push on my shoulder.
I would fly just to make things easier and not juggle moving creatures.
I can make the 3 of you invisible.
It's just a flying stoat.
No.
I do have only one question. Do you intend to do this in the middle of the day, or do you intend to do this at night?
I can play the harp of the goddess, and we can make it nighttime.
Just gonna ask, like,
True.
how long do we want to wait?
I feel
I
like
don't
if we
think
play
they-
the harp do that,
waiting, yeah?
How long will it take them to realize that Vestal's been solved. Kind of. How long is it going to take them to realize that the goblins are gone?
Honestly, I think the best idea is to get in as soon as possible and have the possibility of a messenger coming from Vestal be as small as to be insignificant.
So we're going to go in through the sky, invisibly. Okay.
I think that's it.
Okay.
I will cast invisibility on Hikan, Max, and Zaiden. And then with the shackled, cursed object, I will turn myself into a stoat.
I will put Renji in a pocket, or just
Oh,
tucked
yeah.
inside my clothes.
Okay, I'm trying not to move. This is weird.
Vice is
will
going to say
also-
absolutely nothing and take flight.
Ah,
I will also use the cursed twilight bit and turn into a hawk.
Okay.
Zaiden will polymorph themselves into some small. Why not another hawk? It'd be a hawk.
All right.
Okay.
should I have done this differently? I'd let you transform first, then make you invisible?
I don't think they
Do that.
cancel, so.
Yes, they do. If you cast a spell while you're invisible, it ends the invisibility.
It does. Yeah.
Okay, we'll
Yeah,
do it the other way around then.
before.
Yeah, it's like because the curse is not so much an effect that you affect on yourself. It is being put
Either
on
way,
you.
we are invisible and flying.
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
with DM permission.
Of course.
We know magic enough by now to know
Yeah.
when to do things.
You're 18th level. You know the order of operations at this point.
Was it Femdos, or was it?
Everyone who can cast magic has at least proficiency in some kind of magic.
Mhm.
Yeah. But yeah, you change your shape, you disappear from physical sight, and you take to the skies in order to land in Vestal. Well, not Vestal, Meidos. Vestal's the other way.
Yeah, we don't want to go back to Vestal right now.
It's just like, just imagine.
We
like
accidentally fast traveled. Oops.
Yeah, you just autopilot
Oh,
fast
darn it.
travel to previous
Press the
location.
wrong one. And we haven't unlocked Meidos yet. No!
Yeah.
Gonna walk that entire end again.
On the plus side, it might be nighttime by the time we get there.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Oh, dear. But yeah, you make landfall in my. Where, like, are you looking? I know I don't have a map of Meidos available to
I
peruse.
land somewhere that has no people in it.
Okay.
That's the only priority I have.
Okay. After a brief bit of scanning, you do find a couple of locations. Do you prefer one on the like as close to the wall as possible, or as close to the center as possible?
I would say a bit not in the center, but also not near the walls.
Okay.
Because
So yeah.
we want to
managed
get a look under the top before we land next to it.
Yeah. You make landfall in a small little courtyard, set between several buildings that looks as if it has nobody within it, or nobody within it, so that you don't bump into anybody. And as you do land, you take a quick look around, and thankfully there doesn't appear to be anybody in any of the windows. This location is within the northwest part of town. The top is about 4 streets away from best recollection, and you're a decent distance from the wall itself that you're not directly next to it. take a bit of maneuvering, especially to try and not like bump shoulders with anybody who is walking past, given how busy it is. But you are in Meidos now. I'll move the flag to. There we go.
I have to
Fast travel
Checking.
unlocked.
to make sure no one's looking. I will let Renji out of my pocket and let him have a look around.
I will kind of like fall to the ground, get my
I'm
bearings.
gonna drop you. I'm gonna put you down.
Okay. Like I thought you kind of like opened the.
No, I
Pocket that
let
you
you
had
out
and-
of my pocket, and,
Okay.
and I'm not. I didn't say I'd put you on. I'm putting on the floor. I'm just looking at.
I didn't say like I would fall like
Okay.
what's the word? Like poorly. Like I'm an animal. I fall down. I get on my.
Max
like,
isn't mad at you.
Okay. Like I'm not saying that.
It's okay. It's all right.
It's
I was
fine.
more thinking like, okay, like if you have a cat or something and you put them down, you don't have to always like put them down on the ground. They can fall a little bit.
You're not a cat. You're a stone.
I know. I am more maneuverable.
Max doesn't know that. He doesn't have proficiency in nature.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I'm now I'm stonily awesome and looking around and trying to immediately find some sort of cover as I kind of
I'm just gonna stick close to you.
yeah where to go now?
Have you turned back?
I haven't, not yet.
I translate.
I'm just gonna say, I think the big thing is under the top. We still don't know where Cassandra is, so we
Okay.
should probably find her.
Good idea. Why don't I try and sneak under the tarp?
You do that. I'll look for an important building and meet you back here.
Okay.
Okay. Excellent. So, now then, under normal circumstances, I would say that your invisibility is potent enough in order to just navigate the crowds without issue. However, the crowds are.
I'm gonna fly.
You're gonna fly. Those who can't fly.
That is just me.
Yeah, I would like it if you could provide me a stealth check with advantage because you are invisible.
I am not invisible. I am a stoat.
Oh, okay. Well, normal stealth check then.
Okay, fair enough. I would say like I might make it with advantage because I'm a stoat.
True,
And
but
no one is like, a stoat. I should kill that.
no, but
Oh.
someone might be like, I've never seen a city stoat before. It's just...
And it's so it has such white fur. But fair enough. Let's see. Please don't make this a 1. 26.
Yeah. You have a plus 14, you're fine.
That's why I didn't want the 1.
Still would have gotten a 15 with a 1.
Yeah, and below maybe possible guards' passive perceptions.
But yes, you manage to easily navigate the crowds with your size. They are not paying any attention to where their feet tread. They're mostly trying to navigate themselves around other people who are walking through the thoroughfares. As you move to the top, you realize that it's stuck up on some poles, so it's not like completely like flush with the ground in order to keep everything down.
Gonna fill it with water.
Yeah. What you can see on the inside is spiraling down into this pit are a series of in progress fortifications. There's like there seems to be like a pile of logs in which several people are just taking big saws to and like adding spikes to them for the purpose of just putting more outside. But and you can see there are a lot of folks here, a couple of them being guards, but a lot of them being civilians. The centerpiece of this, however, appears to be a very big metallic humanoid, roughly about 17 feet tall. It is of the huge category, and it is armored in this jet black metal that's trimmed in silver. It appears to be a very kind of almost caricaturish version, like depiction of a knight without their cape or weapon. Though they do seem to have, does seem to be a large metallic cleaver almost that's resting in a nearby it, which is appropriate for its size. Within the same area, there appear to be about 5 foot tall spikes of metal that seem to have runes of a different color that are running down each of the sides. Next to this behemoth is a table that is covered in unfurled scrolls and books, with a lot of like measuring implements and everything like that. And as you look at it, you see someone is climbing up a ladder at the back, like that's been positioned at the back of this behemoth as they are climbing into a large hatch. Almost. They appear to be a middle-aged Hylian with a scraggly beard and wild hair that has like a few grey streaks in it. They seem haggard but determined, and are very like like they seem to have they seem to be wearing a kind of like a short-sleeved shirt, and like leather jerkin sort of thing, and on their bare arms you can see numerous scars. This man climbs up the ladder and then settles himself into the back of this thing as a metallic hatch closes behind him. And there, a few moments pass before eventually there's a series of cacophonous as the metal man adjusts and like almost kind of goes limp a little bit and then stands straight again and rather wobbly sort of takes a step forward out of whatever brace it was in previously. You do not seem to see Cassandra.
So I think I want to kind of like stay hidden and kind of observe this for a moment. Okay. And see if this is like a test run of some sort, or if they are planning on doing something immediate.
Okay. That is the case. You observe as this thing takes a couple of steps forward, turns about 90 degrees, takes a few more steps forward, turns 90 degrees again, and then takes a few more steps forward before it eventually reaches the weapon, and it cautiously, carefully grasps a hold of the blade and lifts it. Rather easily too. This weapon that's about 10 foot long from pommel to blade tip is it just picks up as if it was nothing. Then turns.
What kind of weapon was it again?
It's kind of like a cleaver almost. It's well, shaped like a cleaver, but you can gather that it's probably used as if it was something like a longsword or something like that.
Right.
It turns again. And then one of the people who are attending to this steps forward with a rather sheepishly, they take a scroll, and as you and eventually he kind of goes, "Are you sure?" And then through kind of this emulated sort of, you can guess like thaumaturgy has been somewhat applied here. The individual on the inside says, "Do it," and the fellow with the scroll nods a bit, reads it, and utters some magical words. The scroll evaporates in his hand, and from that evaporation, 3 bolts of energy fly out and unerringly head towards this machine. And then it hits it, and nothing happens.
As in, I see how the magic is dispelled?
You see as if the magic has made contact with its target and it has no effect. Give me a perception check, actually.
Yes, please, because I want to know the distinction here. Perception.
Yeah.
31.
The 31, you catch out the corner of your eye one of those pillars, one of those spikes, those 5-foot tall spikes with the runes on it, a purplish one, glows faintly as the spell makes contact and then returns to its normal resting state. Give me an Arcana roll.
Yes, please. I would love to do that in this situation. That's a 32.
Okay. If there's one thing that you can recognize with the number of spikes that are there and the way that this has been designed and the effect that this has had, you think that this is emulating the effects of a helmed horror, which is a construct that is usually used by mages, and when they make a helmed horror, they make them outright immune to a series of spells. Okay. It appears that whatever this is, while connected to this pillar in some way, shape, or the spike in some way, shape, or form, it is immune to the effects of magic missile.
It's immune to magic missile.
That's a good one to be immune to.
It's a good one to be immune to, absolutely. How many spikes are there?
3.
Okay, so at least magic missile. Okay.
Are the other ones different colors?
Yes.
Yes, good question.
What are the colors?
One of them is red, and one of them is green.
Okay, so...
Red, green, and purple.
Red, green, purple. Purple being magic missile.
Mm-hmm.
And magic is force damage, right?
Possibly. Also, knowing that my Eldritch Blast is kind of like black and cyan, does that make any difference?
Give me another Arcana check. I know you got 32 on
what color were the magic bolts sent at the
They were kind of just this nebula. Like, when I envision generic magic missile in my brain, it is kind of like white with an edging of purple almost.
Okay. That's fair. But that's extra Arcana 28.
28. You don't think it's related to force damage or damage type. You think it may be as close to a helmed horror as possible in the sense that it is specifically immune to magic missile.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of like the wondering if like it's not so much for me are they immune to force damage, but more like
I was wondering if maybe the damage types indicated what spells they were resistant to.
That's a fair assumption. My
other question would be: is it similar to how the spells look in Detect Magic?
Is it school?
Which would be is evocation.
With that 28, no, there's no relation to how the spells work. Spells look in thing. Indeterminate.
I'm just trying to provide maybe methods of figuring out what are the spells it's immune to.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's why I also asked specifically if there was like
It could just be the crystal is that color, and it could just, I think it could be other things like.
yeah. Well, unfortunately, that doesn't appear to be the case.
Mhm.
Point
I
of
think
order.
with yes.
Mhm.
How long has it been since we got into Meidos?
Not long. We just got here.
I was going to say, I wouldn't... like, invisibility lasts an hour, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so you're still within your time limit.
Okay.
I think I would like to observe for maybe 5 to 10 minutes here.
Okay.
See if this is like a drill to confirm like this feature is working for the people that are working here, and then head out to hopefully find the others. I don't know how though.
Well, I
Because
said
you-
we'd meet up where we landed,
Okay, yes, then I would go back to that spot.
Okay.
and I was looking for an important-looking building, which would have important-looking people in it.
Okay. So what we'll do then? So for another 5-10 minutes of observing this this construct, it only really does 2 more things by the time you reach the end of your time limit or your self-imposed time limit and head back to the meeting spot. Another guy comes forward with another scroll. You don't know what it is though, because instead, while the first guy opened a scroll and the construct was looking straight ahead, what the construct does now is look directly at the person with the scroll. They try and cast a spell on the scroll, and nothing happens.
Okay. I do not want to get in line of sight of this construct at the moment.
At which point, after that is confirmed, and there's more light discussion between the folks in the area, it appears that the pilot of this construct is like getting themselves acquainted with the controls, progressively becoming a bit more nimble and agile with their movements, a bit more sure of themselves as they go from like pacing themselves in a line, turning corners, and then eventually jogging, which is a rather cacophonous sound given its size and weight.
Okay.
The person behind the controls going, this isn't just making the arm snap off. Excellent.
Yeah.
A violation of the square cube law, but fair enough.
Magic!
Magic! And rule of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so is my ability to shoot lightning from my fingers.
Exactly. Like, I'm not saying that it shouldn't. I'm just saying this is an example.
I'm pretty sure Max's wings would need to be twice as big for him to actually fly.
At least. I will go and head back to the point that we landed at to rendezvous.
Okay. You head back to the rendezvous point. Max, while you're airborne, looking for important-looking buildings, based off of size alone, there are several buildings that could be seen as important. There is at least 1 or 2 churches of fairly prodigious size. There does appear to be a town hall of sorts.
Looking at those 3 buildings, does anyone who looks to be like not so much in charge as just important going in or out of any of them?
Give me a perception check.
26.
Nice.
With a 26. With a 26, you observe that the most of the individuals going in and out are a mixture of civilians and soldiers. No one seems to stand out much at all. You do observe that there is at least one or two people within these crowds that, while you have like your standard civilians dressed in their normal commoner clothes, and you have those rebel soldiers who are dressed in like patchwork armor, there's at least three people that you can observe who seem to be wearing like cloaks, not like cultisty robes or anything, but they seem to be wearing like long, heavy cloaks that drape over the shoulder with their hoods up. They're trying their best to be that not be seen, as it were, or at least identified.
And which building are they around?
Two of them come out of the same church, one after the other at different intervals, and another one comes out of the town hall.
I'll go see if I can sneak into the church first then.
Okay.
See if there's anything that looks like Cassandra or plants.
Okay. Let's see. So,
Would you like me to roll stealth?
Yes, please.
19.
Nice.
Unless no, I'm invisible, 26.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. You land outside the church, and after waiting for a moment, kind of slip inside. No one pays much attention, even if they could see you, the church itself appears to be a very basic affair. It is a large singular room in this kind of cold stonework building. Much of the painted glass has been removed, and all the windows have been boarded over, so it's very dark in here, illuminated by numerous candles. It appears that this seems to be being used as some kind of rudimentary hospital. Granted, the number of wounded soldiers here is surprisingly few. It's mostly civilians who seem to be under the effects of some unfortunate malady, like a cold or any other kind of...
They call it the lurgy.
They call it the lurgy. After all, Meidos has now become very cramped, so it's like something was going to happen in that variety.
Yeah, this is a perfect place for a big disease to start.
Yeah. So as you kind of look around a little bit, you note that there doesn't appear to be any like outright plans here. The script that you find here is mostly just religious scripture.
Yeah, I'm just giving it a cursory look to see if there's anything important here, and then I'm going to leave.
Yeah, there doesn't appear to be anybody here who looks like Cassandra either. But yeah, you make your way out.
And go to the town hall.
Yeah. Okay. So you take off and land again at the town hall. Give me another stealth check.
Oh, sneaking. 26.
Nice. So you slip inside. Within the main area of this town hall, there appears to be most of the chairs or benches that would be used for town meetings have been pushed aside, and there's just a series of tables where a number of rebel soldiers are kind of looking over like logistical reports, or one big map of the west of Hyrule where everything is stationed. There's the low murmur of dignified arguments going on, as many of the soldiers there are arguing about the best placement for supplies and what to do with all these people who have turned up, and clearly they're going to run out of food at some point.
Yeah, well, the farms have turned off.
Yeah, there is many instances of grumbling that whatever plan this is, and for Tovar to agree to it, has clearly not gone as planned as they would like it to be. You do hear the passing whispers that one person says that the moment that, to put it in eloquently, the moment that bitch turned up, everything has started to go wrong. And
they are not happy with it. Good.
But yeah, as far as you can see, looking at the table map, there is a distinct lack of any more recent updates. There's still a little figurine to determine where the Lionel should be at this point, and there's still a couple of little figurines to determine where the Bulblins are.
I'm so tempted. I'm so tempted that when no one's looking to just knock over the Lionel.
Oh dear.
Just put it on its side and then keep looking.
There is another little figurine that should determine like a possible location as to where Rotokriga is. The Dark Nut that was protecting Rudal, that's the one. I have a different map open. But yeah, you kind of like assume that by this point, even if they have a particularly fast runner, they haven't had news reach them as of yet in regards to what your exploits have been. There is, however, one particular thing that does come to mind as you peruse over. One of the soldiers looks over to the other one and says, "We got anything about that storm that happened over Rudal?" And the other goes, "No, not yet. We meant to see some of the lads come back after that particular plan. It's been days. We haven't heard anything from them. They should have been back by now." And the other guy just kind of shakes his head and says, "I tell you, it's those fucking adventurers. It's got to be." And they kind of have this polite argument as to whether or not you are actually involved in the war at all. They certainly know about you, or that you exist, but it's clear that they are unaware as a whole that you are in their home base right this fucking second.
I'm literally listening to them. I'm gonna see if I can get upstairs, see if Cassandra's living here or has an office here or something.
Okay. You slip upstairs. Give me a perception check as you begin to scout around.
25.
Nice. Rolling like fire today, everybody. Good job.
This will not last. And as long as I believe this will not last, it'll be fine.
We will get curb stomped by the Gundam.
Yes.
So, you slip upstairs and you head towards some of the upper offices and upper rooms. Peering inside some of the already open doors, you note that there are a couple of other people here who are just kind of standing about, reading over logistical reports, arguing with each other. Clearly the vibe in Meidos is lacking, but you make your way through these rooms. Eventually you do find one that seems to be a bit more appointed than others. The door is open, and you slip inside. From all the things that you've heard about this Tovar Redmane, the guy who supposedly is in charge of the rebelling effort, this room does not like it belongs to such an individual. It definitely seems to have some of the more refined accoutrement of someone who used to be, or is, or still considers themselves to be a part of the nobility. You spy on one set of drawers a series of perfumes that have clearly long since been abandoned. As you open a drawer, you find what appears to be the stained and ruined dress that would have been worn by someone who had to flee from a location at a moment's notice at an inopportune time. what you also find are a series of documents that list themselves as receipts for trade with the people of Meidos. This includes materials such as adamantite, as well as various magical reagents for something that has been described as the Iron Liberator. It is a gargantuan amount of stuff. It would cost hundreds of thousands of gold pieces to get this sorted and ready to go. You theorize perhaps maybe that this is what remained of the Twilight Cartel being thrown at one particular proponent for the sake of maybe their safety, or maybe they were enthusiastic about the rebels' chances, but who knows. There are a couple of things on here that are a little bit odd, however. There are a series of spell scrolls. One's for magic missile, one's for heat metal, one's for banishment, one's for wall of stone, as well as a number of other things such as beads of force, potions of greater healing. One of them appears to be a dagger of Hylian slaying.
Rude.
Well, there's only one person in the party who has to worry about that.
Still rude.
Kind of.
It's racist.
Gonna take note of all those things. Gonna try and get out of here before she comes back.
Mm-hmm.
And on the way out of the building, I am going to knock over the Lionel.
Okay. For fun,
Yeah.
give me a stealth check.
This will be the one where this will be where I get a 1. The sleight of hand's the same number for me.
Okay.
So 24.
Beautiful.
Okay. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Just
while they happen to be looking away to like drink tea or something, just
yeah,
turn it on its side.
It's just like the camera pans to the table, and the invisible silhouette of Max just slowly rises, looks up, reaches over, and then just immediately gone.
Just baps it over like a cat and then leaves.
Yeah.
So indignant.
Yeah, you leave the town hall with information in tow. Max and Zayden, what are you two up to?
I've already done myself.
Oh no, Max and Zayden. Hikan and Zayden. Daylight savings time has affected all of us today.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Daylight savings time is an act of terrorism against the civilian population and should be stopped.
Agreed.
Zayden will take advantage of the small hawk form and will just start landing on windowsills of suitable looking buildings to see if Cassandra is in any of the rooms.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
Ooh, a natural 1.
Oh
Dear.
Well, it's still a 13 though. So that's not too bad.
Not bad. But it's the worst you could have done.
Yeah. So you begin flying about, landing on windowsills, peering into windows, looking along streets and everything. While you two at some point see some of these individuals who are who've got cloaks on, hoods up so that they're hiding their faces as much as possible, you can't really identify Cassandra among any of them. It takes a little bit of time, up to however long you are continuing to search before you decide to regroup with the others.
Zayden probably also gets distracted seeing things that he probably shouldn't. Like, oh, that's not the man who's in that picture on the wall with her.
So it just comes back. It's like, what have you? So what information you got? Is like, I have tea to spill. Yeah. But yeah, unfortunately, you don't seem to find Cassandra among looking for looking among the crowds, using your smaller form and to your advantage. Hikan, what about yourself?
Hikan is the translator and won't know when one person gets back because they're still invisible. So Hikan has.
I'm not.
You're not. But Max is.
Yes.
And as is Aiden. So Hikan is going to sit around and strategize. About how far away are the buildings from the center of the tarp?
There is at least a 10-foot gap between the next building and the top.
How tall do these buildings seem to be? And you can use stories if that's easier.
2 stories.
2 stories. Okay. Is it kind of like a tight circle around the center, or is it kind of more sparse?
Tight circle. You can see that at least 1 or 2 of the buildings have been deconstructed slightly to make way for this big pit.
So Hikan could generally, with his monk abilities, run up and then make a full circle on the rooftops, generally speaking. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, and then I'll just sit there and contemplate future sight.
Okay.
Till everyone gets back.
Yeah. After about, I will say, half an hour of collective scanning and looking about, everyone does return to the meeting spot.
And we all make some sort of indication that we are there.
I give some tentative squeaks.
Yeah. We're all the invisible people make an indication that they are present.
Yeah.
I think I found where Cassandra lives. There's a point in the general direction. There's the town hall.
You can't point, you're invisible.
I know. I'm pointing anyway.
Okay, good. That's even better.
Max is forgetting that he's invisible.
Yep.
It's the town hall. One of the rooms on the upper floor. This also seems to be where they're doing a lot of planning stuff. They don't seem to be aware that we've been operating here yet, but some of them have heard of us and are worried we're going to show up. Their information was out of date enough they still think the Lionel's alive.
I have gotten a look at the construct that they are working on in the middle of town, in the pit. It seems to be immune to the magic missile spell, as well as some others that I don't know yet.
There were writings about a lot of scrolls in Cassandra's room.
Which spells did it mention?
I'm trying to remember all of them now. Magic missile, wall of stone, some other
Banishment.
Banishment.
Heat metal.
And heat metal. There might have been other ones, but I didn't spend too long in there.
Artie, were there 3 or were there 4 spikes in total?
There were 3 spikes in total.
Okay.
There was also a lot of information on the materials that make that thing, and some magic items, including balls of force and a dagger of Hylian slaying.
Oh, that's rude.
I don't know about you guys, but a normal dagger would kill me.
Yeah.
If you tried hard enough.
I think with those kind of things.
And what?
Wall of stone and magic missile.
Yeah.
I also saw that the construct had a like an ability to cancel out magic being cast.
Ah, okay. I was confused because Wall of Stone isn't really a one that you target at a creature.
No.
Could be that they've just got other scrolls as well as the ones that it's immune to. Because Wall of Stone's a useful spell.
That is true.
I heard some talking as well that was indicating that the people here aren't happy with Cassandra. They think things have just gotten worse and worse since she showed up.
The question is, how do we want to...
So not all of them are going to be particularly loyal to her.
Correct. Question is then, how do we want to approach this? Do we want to hit the construct and make it inoperable as soon as possible? Do you want to go amongst the people and try and see if we can cause some great annoyance with them? Try and turn them against?
Did anyone find anything that indicated, like, how the thing is built? Like, plans or whatever?
I did not. I didn't want to go in too close just yet. But I could try and sneak in again, see if there's any weak parts of it in, my current form. And if it is powered by the Bombus medallion, try and see if we can liberate it before this construct is sent to liberate the rebelling villages. Also, is the construct powered? It is powered by the Bombos medallion, but does it throw bombs, and therefore is it Liberty Prime?
You didn't see.
Okay, we'll figure that out later.
It was mostly swinging a sword around.
I think the main question is how much time do we want to spend, especially since we do have a self-imposed time limit with invisibility.
We do need to locate Cassandra.
Yes.
We do need to find out where she is so she can't just sneak off again.
Sidon, do you have any particular spells available to do so?
Not currently.
Okay.
I'd have to put locate creature on next rest.
I could take a look real quick. I haven't moved from here yet, so...
Also, did notice some guys going around in brown cloaks. I'm not sure what they're about, but they seem distinctly different from everyone else.
Well kept, or?
No, just everyone else is wearing like ramshackle bits and pieces, and they're not.
More of a uniform than. I see.
Can't tell if they're more important or just, I don't know, some kind of mercenaries or something.
You want me to take a quick gander to see if I can find Cassandra real quick?
Sure.
Okay. Remember, they don't understand you. And then I fly around.
Wait. Oh, shit.
It's just gonna look down at Reggie. Reggie's like, yeah, you've been squeaking this whole time.
Oh, crud. Well, I suppose I just squeak.
I would have translated what Renji was saying.
I know. I appreciate it.
Just gonna be like, yeah, exactly.
Oh, dear.
If Renji is visible...
Max was saying yeah, exactly too, was you should really forgive Hikan.
Squeak.
Whatever.
If Renji is visible, Zidon can telepathize with him.
Oh, excellent.
Good. But yeah, so you fly into the sky to take a crack at having a look and see if you can find Cassandra. Give me a perception check.
Alrighty. With advantage, for I have foresight. Natural 20 for 30.
Oh.
Excellent. So, with a natural 20 for 30, you take the information that has been given to you and you compartmentalize it and begin going through Meidos with a fine-tooth comb, using your swiftness and your sharpened hawk eyes in order to locate individuals within brown cloaks. You find one of them very quickly. They appear to make their way down to one of the nearby taverns, and as you kind of sit and perch at a nearby window, you peer inside and you can see them as they sit down at the bar and order a drink. Immediately you can see that this isn't Cassandra. Their shoulders are too broad. They have too much facial hair on their face. They kind of just drink heartily, and while you do note that they appear to have some finery under the cloaks, this is definitely not Cassandra. So with that, you decide to take to the sky again and find one of the other ones. You find the second cloaked person has since returned to the church. Peering inside, you see that they're attending to the wounds of or the illnesses of some of the townsfolk. They are also possessed of some finery, tending to these people with gloves that are made of a fine leather. While they do seem to have a similar frame to Cassandra, you remember that Cassandra had bright red hair, and this person seems to have jet black hair.
We know now that people can change their hair color. We met Mara.
True. You have met Mara, yes, that's true. Yeah, so this could be Cassandra with dyed hair, but given the circumstances, you don't think that they're the type of person to tend to the wounded with such care. They certainly didn't seem to have... Yeah, they didn't seem to have the skill for medicine, let alone the effort to put towards it. So you take to the sky again and find the third person. This individual appears to be right next to the western gate, and they are tending to a horse. They kind of gently brush the side of its neck. They are not wearing gloves on their hands, and they have long, delicate fingers that have with precisely manicured nails, as they just kind of pet this horse while having an idle conversation with the stable hand, who seems to be quite exacerbated. As you flitter and flutter closer, you do catch the sight of the face of this individual, and it is Cassandra. And just as you make that revelation, you can hear with your perception check a bit of a commotion coming from somewhere in town, just off in the distance. What do you intend to do?
We're on the opposites. You said we're near the western gate?
You are near the western gate. The commotion seems to be coming from the eastern one.
Can we also hear this if it's loud enough to be heard on the other side of town?
You can hear. You can indeed hear a commotion. You are much closer, so it would tip your passive perceptions. But it sounds like just raised shouting, as it were, as opposed to anything else. Like the volume and pitch of the ambient busy town noises has gone up slightly, but noticeable enough for you to clock onto it.
kind of turn to the vague direction of Zayden and try to telepathize. Should we check that out, or
I'll go take a look. Max
The-
says,
the-
not hearing that.
the hour is starting to run out by this point, I think.
You have 10 minutes left on your invisibility / polymorph.
Fine, I'll go look from above.
How far apart is the east and west gates?
It's going to be about a fifth of a mile. It's not a terribly big town. So you're able to. You can with your speed, you're probably able to cover that distance very quickly. It's whether you want to let Cassandra out of your sight is the different thing.
Yeah. Can I hear what she's talking about with the
With the 30 perception.
with the stable hand?
Now that you are a little bit closer, it seems to be idle chatter. One thing you do catch, actually, through the idle conversation, Cassandra says something like, "Thank you for taking care of the horse. Can I inquire, have the new shoes been fitted?" And the stable hand just kind of nods slightly tiredly and says, "Yeah, right bugger to get on, though. But nothing but the best, I'm sure," says sarcastically. And the Cassandra kind of nods a bit with a polite smile and says, "Oh, thank you very much. You are a gem." And continues to pet the horse and continues to engage in idle chatter with a person who clearly doesn't want to engage in idle chatter.
Like every other sentence is followed with him going just like fucking hate you under his breath.
Yeah.
Please get out of my stable.
Okay. I'm just doing some math. Alright. Divided by 5. Nope. 5280 divided by 5. 1056 divided by 55. 19.2 divided by 3. It would take me 6 rounds to get back to the party, and so it would take me 12 rounds to get there and back, which would be just over a minute.
Yeah.
And I guess that's with you burning a bunch of key as well.
That would be me burning 12 of my key points, yeah.
Yeah. So you might need that for the robot.
Yeah, I'll probably need that for the robot, so it would take me times 3 divided by 2. Without the key points, it would take me about a minute to get there and back at top speed. So 2 minutes in total. Yeah, I'm gonna go back and let those who are there know where she is and let them know that I'll be keeping an eye on her and rush back.
Okay. So you kind of just like if you had teeth in this moment, you would grit them and take flight and head back to the party.
I am not a goose.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Max, who has departed from the meeting point in order to investigate the commotion.
I've got a sending stone on me, it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
You arrive flying over the...
I'm going to land on a nearby roof.
Yeah, you land on a nearby roof. You land just as the town gates are being opened. And in comes a collection of 5 rebel soldiers who have all arrived on horseback. The one at the front, the moment that the horse is within town enough for the gates to be closed again, immediately hops off his horse and turns to the nearest soldier and says, "Where's Tovar?" And the soldier responds with, "What appears to be a problem? I thought your patrol was like 3 weeks. It's been a couple of days. He just interrupted. I was like, where is Tova? The Lionel's dead. Oh, he's in the center of town in the pit. And the guy who was apparently part of the scouting party nods and effectively makes a breakneck sprint for the center of town.
Gonna pull out my sanding stone, and if anyone is able to listen, just say, well, they're gonna know the Lionel's dead in a few minutes.
I hear this. I respond, we're going to the pit. And I telepathize to Zayden, we have to go to the pit.
Do I hear that as squeaker words?
I don't know.
If I hear it just squeak, I'm just gonna say, I'm assuming you're telling me to come back. Alright, cool. I mean, there's nothing else going on here, so...
We've had a previous instance of sending stone things happen. That worked.
The creature hears the message in its mind, recognizes you as a sender if it knows you.
If it's telepathy, then yeah, it'll be fine.
And can understand and answer in the like manner. The spell enables creatures with an intelligence scores of at least 1 to understand the meaning of your message.
Yeah, it's fine then.
Yeah.
Yeah, Max is
like,
smart to understand.
I say, okay, well, nothing else is going on here, so I'm coming back.
Yep. Okay, so you return, you make your way back to meet at the pit. Renji, you tell Zayden telepathically that you need to go to the pit. This all happens while Hikan is not back yet.
Oh shit. Is there, like, how soft is the soil?
Has it been raining?
It hasn't been raining, and the courtyard that we're in, I don't think there is. There's enough stuff there to hastily kind of just like put out sticks that say the pit, and then that's it.
No.
Yeah. So you make your way to the pit. Hikan, are you moving without key points?
Yeah, because I should. If it wasn't 12, I don't think I would use key points, but it's 12, which would leave me with 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, you arrive about 30 seconds later to an empty courtyard and a hastily scrawled message in detritus that says "The pit, full stop, now, full stop." Like you can read now, right?
I can read. It just takes a little while.
Okay,
I have to. Yeah.
Okay,
simple words are probably easy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you see it, and okay, and then you go to the pit. Meanwhile, for the next 30 seconds before Hikan arrives and regroups, I'm going to say that the first people to arrive would be, because they're closest, would be Zayden and Renji. You head through, and Zayden, you perch yourself onto a nearby ledge, while Renji, you kind of scamper up next to him and peer down into the pit. Whoever's piloting that mecha is now very good at it. They've actually taken up something of a stance to like widen their center of gravity and are practicing sword swings. But yeah, they appear to be currently unaware. You have arrived before the messenger has turned up with the unfortunate news that one of the rebels' best assets has now been slain. Yeah. What do you do? What do you intend to do while you... do you intend to just wait for everybody?
I am still in my stout form.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see if there's an opening within the construct.
Give me a perception check.
Perception.
Yeah.
32,
Oh,
33.
Okay. So with a 33, you peer at the construct.
Mm-hmm.
You can't seem to find any appropriate openings of your size. There looks to be like little vents just under a part of the chest.
I had a great idea.
Oh yeah, go for it.
So this might have interesting effects on the potential boss battle, but Zidon is going to suggest to Renji. So I have a lot of bottles of Ultra Mega Death Goron Spice, if you want to put that in the vent.
Yes.
Okay. Zidon will find a suitably hidden spot to turn back to human, and will pull out one of the bottles to provide to Renji.
Okay.
As I was thinking, with the DM's permission, that I could use my claws for thieves' tools.
I mean, maybe. It depends entirely on how you manage it. Because at this point in time, you don't know what the internal workings of this construct is. So you could depending on what it is that you want to attempt to do as like your full plan. Like if you intend to just kind of like find a vent, stuff something into the vent and then leave, then that's workable, depending on what it is that you want to stuff in there. If you intend to crawl into the vent to get up to some chicanery on the inside, then that might be a different story.
I like Zidon's idea of putting the vial into the vent and see what happens. If that works, afterwards I would like to try and see if I can get the hatch on the back of this thing open.
I think we have a one or the other. I don't know if we've got enough time to sit there and do both before the messenger comes in.
True. I think I will go for the vial plan and hope that it somehow like partially incapacitates the pilot.
Okay. Sure. So, you totter down into the pit. Give me another stealth check.
Sure. 23.
Okay. So, with vial in claw, you manage to you totter down into the pit, and get close to the construct. Thankfully, it is not changing its stance so much that it's difficult for you to hop onto its leg and clamber up. It's a bit of a squeeze because the vent is about the width of it's about a half an inch thick, and a long a long line. But also, what makes it difficult is that the vent is pointing down, not up.
Let's see. Okay, I'm going to ruin.
Is the airflow going in or out?
Out.
Is there? Okay.
Thunder damage. Does that mean a concussive force?
Thunder damage is sound, effectively.
Sound. So
It's also loud.
it is loud, yes. But that is displaced air, right? That's sound.
No, sound is waves.
Darn it, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Were you let me get this right. Were you going to try and thunder step away in order to displace the air within these vents and suffocate the man inside? Was that your plan?
No. What I was going to do...
The way the air would displace there is that it would be sucked towards where you were to fill in the gap of your presence.
No. Yeah, but that's not what I was going to do. The thing that I was going to do was stuff the vial in the vent, let go and thunderclap.
I see.
Push it in.
Push it in that way.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing I was going for. However, that would break my invisibility. That would break everyone's invisibility. It would be very loud.
It wouldn't break everyone's invisibility. It wouldn't break your invisibility because 1, you're not invisible, and 2, you're still concentrating.
Yeah, the casting a spell and making an attack while invisible is for the person who is invisible, not necessarily.
And I am not. Yeah, that's true.
It would still be very loud, though.
It would still be very loud, and that would pop off for everything.
Although if this vent is
and Cassandra is standing right next to a horse right now. Yeah. You don't know that.
I don't know that.
Pushing out. Surely there must be an invent somewhere.
That depends on whether or not the vent in question that you're currently staring at is for the pilot.
You're right. I would like to try and see if I can climb upwards and see if there's other vents that I can find.
Okay.
I guess the invent might be close to wherever the cockpit is.
I will have to be inventive.
Okay.
As you size the cockpit is probably in the chest.
As you begin to clamber up, this is when Max turns up.
Mm-hmm.
Max, what are you doing?
Above the hole.
Okay.
And I am... Was Guy running with anyone?
He was followed by a few people, yeah.
Okay. See if I could just swoop him up. But if he's with other people, that'd be difficult.
It's also like... Meidos is still very crowded. It would be difficult to do that without being seen.
Yeah. I'll just sneak up and stab him. I can't see Hikan coming because he's invisible. I am going to use the sending stone to ask. Okay, I'm above the pit. What should I be doing?
Zidon probably has the sending stone, or Renji's on the plan, so Zidon will say.
The sending stone is currently merged with Renji.
I am the sending stone.
Yeah.
You are the sending
he's transformed.
stone.
The sending stone. Darn it. Well done. I am only upset that I didn't come up with it first.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Now I have to make the call.
I'm going to ask.
Yeah.
Would you like a distraction?
Distractions would work, but also if Hikan has found Cassandra, maybe we need to split up and deal with this and Cassandra at the same time.
Okay. I will go to the meeting spot and wave at Hikan.
Oh no!
Would you rather I be down there? What? Okay, fine. Where do you want me to go?
Stay here for a moment. When Hikan shows up, I hope he's seen our message. I gave him a message to go to the pit.
Okay.
When he shows up here,
He's gonna be invisible.
I know.
Would you, as a DM favor,
okay.
would you like me to provide you something of an out?
Yes, please.
Okay. So, let's take inventory on the situation as it stands.
Okay.
Zayden, you are currently sitting on the ledge of the pit, looking down and seeing a construct practicing its sword swings while a stoat, unbeknownst to said construct, has been clambering up the side to look for a vent to pour some very spicy spice into this thing. Renji, you are said stoat, and you've just managed to get yourself up onto the side of this construct to see if there's any additional vents that could act as a way for the pilot to like breathe. Max, you are currently situated in the air above the tarp. You can't see through the tarp, but you know, based on what you're being told, where Zayden
I know that directly
and Renji
below me
are.
there is Big Robot.
Yeah, and there is Big Robot. And Hikan, at this point in time, you are just about to arrive at the meeting spot where none of your friends currently are, and you will find a scrawled message that will say, "The pit, full stop, now." This is a precarious situation in which a lot of things can happen. With your combined insight, you would probably tell that anything that is loud and destructive that is not expected as part of this will probably alert Cassandra, who is next to a horse that is next to the gate that is on the side of town where, as far as people might be aware, she intends to flee if anything goes wrong. This construct has a number of defenses within its capabilities. It is currently immune to 3 spells, one of which is known to you, and it has the ability to lock down spellcasters by staring at them. Within the next few seconds, probably like all of you will be in the area of the pit before the guy turns up to tell presumably Tovar, who is the pilot maybe, or at least is somewhere in this area, that the Lionel is dead. Whether or not the scouts have also reported the Bulblins have fucked off is a different matter entirely. The decision is, if you start this fight, it will mean that Cassandra will start fleeing, which if you want to capture her, at least where she is now, it will split your party. You remember that Risha has said that they've requisitioned some ships to slowly patrol down the coast to see if there is a waiting boat and then to stop it from leaving if Cassandra intends to flee by sea. Given that information, and that if we start a fight now, it's gonna go over time, shall we call it here to give you 2 weeks to plan it out and hash out what you want to do, and then we can start afresh with the plan being in action at the start of next session?
I have a potential way of slowing down the runner
Okay, yes.
and his guys, and it's called synaptic static. It's not loud, and it muddles their thoughts for a minute if they fail the test.
Right, yes.
So it'll slow them down and make it harder for them to inform them of what's going on.
I think
what level is it, and what's the damage that it does?
It might also kill them. It is 5th level, and it is 8d6.
A psychic?
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good to know. I can't tell you whether or not that's right or not without telling you what the potential hit points of these guys are. So it's.
I can tell these guys are just dudes.
Yeah.
Maybe with some magic shit.
Well, the giant mecha isn't going to run away anyway, so we should probably focus on dealing with Cassandra somehow. I have transport via plants right now, so as long as we can, like, get to her, we could fairly easily whisk her away for imprisonment.
Well, Max
Depending
is
on whether or
fully
not
intending
she-
to just kill her, so...
Huh.
Because if we leave her alive, she's gonna try and escape.
Yeah.
Do we believe she's a competent fighter? Is she
Oh,
a boss
God,
battle
no.
as well?
Unless she's gone and trained in the mountains from the last time you encountered her, no. Her gimmick from the last time
Her
was
gimmick
that
was
she...
run away.
Well, her gimmick was run away and throw whatever magic item she had on hand at you. Like before you started fleeing from her, her trick was to try and get you to stare into a magic mirror and be trapped in the mirror. That's kind of it.
In the underground place, her trick was just run away.
Yeah.
And be invisible.
Well, that was her sister.
Yeah.
But it
I
runs in the
forget that
family.
there are two separate characters sometimes. Yeah, I think we should probably focus on Cassandra, and
Yep.
the big mech is going to be a problem whether it's like aware of us or not.
The worst thing that comes to worst with
The Lionel is dead doesn't mean also the people who killed it are here.
Yeah. Thinking on the mission parameters that we've been given is, if we capture Cassandra and have proof of it, it would make it much easier to sway other people into, not following her anymore. As such, it would be easier to stop the civil war. With that, I kind of hold the vial and then retreat, and with Ascending Stout, I message Max. We need to get in contact with Hikan. Cassandra is our top priority.
Okay, I'll go back to the meeting spot.
Okay. You return to the meeting spot. And the rest of you follow in tow. You arrive just as Hikan has finished reading Pit Now and is about to take flight.
Match says, "Hey, I don't know if you're here yet, but we're back."
Oh, thank God. It was going to be a weird game of tag if we kept sitting there and moving around while invisible. I found Cassandra. She's at the west gate. She's next to a horse.
Oh.
Yes. Then we better go.
We're about to have them learn that the Lionel's dead, so be prepared for people to be, on guard. At least a little bit.
Okay.
Okay.
I will still get back to Cassandra as fast as possible.
Yep.
So I will beat everyone else there.
Yeah.
If you tell us where exactly, then we have the information and we can go there.
Yeah.
Max will pick up Renji again so you can just fly over the walls.
It is very weird to be picked up by an invisible person.
Yeah, Max doesn't care.
I know, it's still weird.
And so it is that decision made. You take flight as fast as possible to try and catch up with Cassandra, and that is where we will end the session because we've only got 10 minutes left before time anyway. But
at least you know what we are doing now.
Yes, indeed. In all honesty, I was expecting the opposite to happen, but then it's absolutely fine.
Max is determined to not let one of these people get away again.
That's fair. That's okay.
Especially after the one of them dodged the storm side the first time I cast it.
Yes. Okay.
And while my instant reaction would be chaos and destruction, Renji should know better.
Also, I'm pretty sure they won't have the big mech just walk through the city and start destroying everything because they hear the Lionel is dead. Like, it's gonna take some time to get that thing out of the pit and into a place where it can do anything.
Yeah. Like, if anything, you can probably gather in this instance that, like, yeah, the Lionel being dead means that plans have to change, whatever those plans are. But the so it will basically, if
the
anything,
enacting of those plans will not be in the next minute.
Yeah, if anything, what it will probably do is it will change the location by which you are fighting the mech. That's kind of it. But
and honestly, it'll probably be easier to not fight it inside the pit because we'll have more angles we can attack it from.
Yeah.
The only other thing that I can think of is there's going to be a bunch of other duders next to the mech that can fight, but y'all got AoE. We all got AoEs out the ass, so.
Look, if they swing at Max, he's not gonna. Oh, you guys, he's not gonna hold back.
Yeah.
Also, if Cassandra tries anything, Rolo Thim's psychic lance is just going to go as like Cassandra.
That's fair. Okay, well, should be interesting to see what happens next time. I have been ArticulateT, the Game Master of Legend of Zelda's Hyrule Chronicles thing. I'm just out of fucking order and everything today. With me, as always, I have had Renji Vox, being played by Nether.
Chaos, but also no.
I have had Hikan Sio, being played by Avrdal.
I can't think of anything witty.
No worries.
It's all good. I had Zaid Shari, being played by Robert Barrett.
I remember getting this Goron spice so long ago to gift to the humanist nobleman. Now has another use.
You can just say racist.
Yeah. It's been so long, I barely remembered his name. It's Rickshaw, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the one. And I've also had Max being played by Keith.
Like all sneaking missions, it goes wrong eventually.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And we'll see you folks next time. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Bye.